Paul Farbrace, another defeat. Just before we talk about the game, Paul, we understand there was a bit of a commotion over the catch that Liam Dawson took to dismiss Danny Lamb. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, look, I mean, it was shown on the big screen, so everybody in the ground saw the incident in terms of the catch. The umpires gave it out, and that's, that they're very experienced umpires. They gave the decision, and then there was a few words exchanged as the teams were coming off and we were getting ready to go on the field, and so I'm sure we'll hear more in the next few days on that.
And it could have been a crucial part of the match as well, because that possibly could have been 6 runs.
Yeah, look, it could have been, but it's one of those things that does happen, unfortunately, in games. As I say, the umpires, very experienced umpires, they're good umpires, they're good people, and we take their word and we move on, and that's the end of it for me.
You spoke at Chelmsford on Friday night about Sussex playing smart cricket, and for a while it looked like you were playing smart cricket, but again, the middle order perhaps didn't fire today, Paul. Yeah,
and I think that happens when perhaps you're on a run of defeats like that. When you're used to winning and you expect to win, when you get yourself in a bit of a corner, you find a way to get out of it. But because we know we're not playing well, then you start to doubt yourself and you start to double guess. And in T20 cricket, you haven't got time to do that. And you certainly haven't got time to doubt yourself. And unfortunately, what happened then was that once we lost a couple of wickets, we fell 20, 25 runs shy of what we should have really scored. And that's really frustrating. And that's, there's only so many team meetings, there's only so many conversations that you can have as a group. We talked today about taking responsibility, not leaving it to somebody else. We talked about playing smart cricket. But, they're the group, and I keep saying they're an honest group, and it's not, I'm not going to stand and, moan about them, because, I'm just as responsible. We win as a team, we lose as a team, it's on me. It'll be another sleepless night for me tonight, thinking about the team. We made a couple of changes, which seemed to have worked quite well in the first instance. It's always hard on players that get left out, though, because Harrison Ward's someone who we think is an absolute match winner, and he struggled a little bit of late, and it's a real shame, because it almost feels as though people are being made to be scapegoats, and they're not. Because you're a team, you're a squad, and you need to remind yourself sometimes that they're human beings. I know they're working hard, I know they're trying hard, I know they care, but it doesn't stop you being frustrated. And also, hopefully it is still in our hands. I mean, according to you and your mobile phone, it's still in our hands. So if that's the case, then we've got 2 games to go, and we can't afford to sulk. We can't afford to feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to roll the sleeves up and get stuck into the next 2 games.
We'll come to where you are in the group in a minute. George Thomas, though, given a chance today, what did you make of him?
Yeah, I like George. I think George is an excellent player. He's been waiting for his opportunity to play, and I thought he took it nicely. He played some very good shots today. He perhaps got stuck a little bit, as we did in the middle, once the ball perhaps got a bit softer. And they're a very, very, very canny bowling side. They're a smart bowling team. That's why they're a very successful team consistently in T20 cricket. But I thought George played really well, and I thought he played well. I thought Clark played well, and it was unfortunate that then you lose 2 of them in 1 over, and that really sets you back. You've got 2 new batters at the crease, and that completely slows your run rate down, which is really hard then.
Ollie Robinson missed out today. He seems to have had a couple of niggles. Was that the reason he missed out, Paul?
But he's got a sore knee. We decided that rather than keep having fitness test after fitness test, the best thing to do was to take him out of the game. We have other people that are fit and raring to go, so let's crack on and give them a go.
You're still in it, is the bottom line, because Glamorgan have lost to Gloucester. You go to Gloucester, they need to win, you need to win. Your run rate is still good, Paul, so 2 wins out of 2 could still see you qualify. I mean, it's extraordinary, but it's true.
It is, isn't it? And, there's a part of me that, that thinks, blimey, we don't deserve to qualify the way that we played the last 4. But, Hampshire, chances for their guys after the game, they went on a 5-game defeated run, which, to think where they are now is remarkable, really. And that is the nature of T20 cricket. So you're absolutely right, we're not out of it. And all those lovely cliches that we're going to trot out over the next couple of days that, I trot out to you from time to time, and I'm trying to find a little bit of humour. I hate losing, I really do, and I know that the lads hate losing, but somehow we've just got to find, and that's why we can't go beating ourselves up over the next few days and doubting ourselves. We've got to find a way and I don't care how we win, we just got to find a win. And it would be remarkable if we could win on Thursday. You just never know, do you? And somehow we've just, I don't care how it is, we've just got to find a way to win a game and stop the rot. Because, you know, the one great thing last year, that when we were playing good Championship cricket, we took that into T20. We took the T20 form back into Championship, and there was that momentum. And as I said to you earlier in the season, you know, you can spin it how you like, can't you, as a coach? You know, you can talk about momentum, or you can talk about when it doesn't go your way, you can talk about actually different competition, the momentum doesn't count. But of course it does, because winning becomes a habit, and we've fallen into a bit of a trap of getting into a losing habit, and that's a really poor place for us to be. So it's up to all of us coaches and players to make sure that, you know, we absolutely find a way to crack on for the rest of this week and give ourselves a good chance.
Final question, how do you prepare for Cheltenham on Thursday? What happens now, Paul?
So lads have day off tomorrow, and then we'll have a really good session on Tuesday afternoon. We're in Tuesday afternoon, and it'll be a long, good session, and then save a bit of energy Wednesday. So some of them will do other things on Wednesday and then be ready to go Thursday. And I think that it's just that clarity of thought more than anything. I think there's going to be as much conversations about clarity of thought as there is about, it's not about hitting balls now, it's not about bowling balls, it's actually about being absolutely clear and having real clarity as how you're going to play on Thursday at Cheltenham. You know, and it's also about, you know, who's got the biggest that are going to put their hand up and say, you know, I'm the one who's going to win the game. I want to be under that high catch. I want to be the one who bowls the over. I want to be the one who changes the game. I want to be the one who, instead of getting 30 and getting out, gets 55 and goes on and wins the game. So it's about us, and it's about us making sure we make good decisions under pressure. You know, as selectors, we've got to make sure we pick the right team. We made some changes today, you know, and the three lads that didn't play that were in our squad today are massively disappointed. And I hope that, you know, that spurs other people on to really make sure that we don't go out with a whimper. I'd absolutely hate us to go out with a whimper, you know, Thursday, Friday. If we're going to go out, let's go out by really giving it a good go and not just whimpering towards the end of this competition, because that would be really sad. And it's frustrating. I know, you know, I'm sure there's supporters and members that are, you know, very frustrated by our performances, but I promise you there's no one more frustrated than me, and there's no one more determined to do something about it than me and the team. So, you know, let's look forward to Thursday.